Hello friends, today we are going to start a poetry, Daffodils, written by William Wordsworth from Invitation to English 1 plus 2 second year. Introducing the poet, William Wordsworth is perhaps the best known of all the romantic poets. He was born in the Lake District in Cumberland. His love of the English lakes never left him and remained to the end a major influence in all he wrote. Wordsworth launched his poetic career in company with S. T. Coleridge. They jointly published lyrical ballads. He was one of the greatest poets of the country and of nature life. As a nature poet and a poet willing and able to see man against a backdrop of nature, he has no equal. He exceeds at taking one particular moment of experience and conveys it richly with a hint of moral comment. His greatest contribution to English literature was A Return to Nature. His idea of nature is related to the concept of unity, the idea of poetic power, and even to his moral beliefs. Nature is seen in many aspects in Wordsworth's work. At its deepest, the prelude, Tintern Abbey, nature is seen as possessing definite mythical bond with man's spirit. Nature in its moral aspects is seen in poems such as Tintern Abbey and especially the prelude. Wordsworth became a master of all forms of poetry: narrative words, ballads, lyrical poems, sonnets, odes, elegies. He was a conscious, deliberate poet. He had a fine mastery of language. To him, poetry is a spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings. It takes its origin from the emotion recollected in tranquility. About the poem, the title Daffodils is likely to suggest a poem in worshipful praise of the flowers, so named. The poem, composed in 1807, is an instance of emotion recollected in tranquility. Daffodils describe the beauty and power of the flowers. More significantly, it is a vivid dramatic record of the poet's encounter with the charming spectacle of nature. On careful reading, the poem turns out to be a beautiful dramatic lyric on the poet's spiritual conversation in the company of nature. The fact that Wordsworth achieves is his purpose in Daffodils through the use of simple, spontaneous, yet sweet and forceful language bears witness to his poetic greatness and excellence. At the beginning, the poet is not only lonely but also in a state of wandering, that is, moving about aimlessly as a floating cloud. All on a sudden, he sees a crowd of a whole bank of beautiful daffodils quivering, dancing in the breeze by the side of the lake. Beneath the trees, the smile that compares the poet's state to that of a cloud reinforces the very idea of an aimless drift. Second stanza. In this stanza, the poet's inward eye, his imagination moves from earth to heaven and discovers a similarity between the daffodils and the stars. The beautiful spectacle of the crowd of dancing daffodils reminds the poet of the luminous stars in the sky. The flowers by the shore of the lake seem as countless as the stars. He catches the sight of 10,000 at a glance, moving their heads in a gay and lively dance. Third stanza. The waves beside the flowers are dancing, but the mirth of daffodils is far greater than that of the waves. The entire atmosphere is one of joy, and this delight sinks deep into the poet's heart. His eyes are fixed on the spectacular sight. The poet fails to realize that the beautiful scene is going to be a source of joy for him in the future also. In short, the show of the flowers bring great wealth to the poet because the poet's imagination changes them again and again into something precious and permanently lovable. In the fourth stanza, the poet describes the wealth of delight the show has bestowed on the poet. The sight of the golden daffodils becomes a thing of the past. Time flies by in the later years when he lies on his couch in a thoughtful mood. The lovely picture of the sprightly daffodils flashes upon his imagination and fills his entire being with joy. Thus, the lovely sight proves to be a source not only of immediate pleasure but of lasting joy as well. This experience brings about a profound change in the poet's mode of perception as well as a deeper spiritual life.